Hi folks, so sorry it's been so long. It's been really hectic. It's been a really difficult few days. So I know, like I say, obviously I'm trying to apologise. The fact is that obviously I've not uploaded for a good few days now, and that's mainly because I've been trying to sort out the money situation. I just noticed my face is in. I wish I could get these things sorted out. Wouldn't it be nice to one day have a nice little setup so I don't have to keep faffing about with. My face is in darkness over there. What can I do? Anyway, so yeah, it's been extremely hot for the last few days as well. We finally get some summer. We finally get some really decent weather, but now it's kind of like getting. I guess it's never happy, are we? You know what I mean? It's like it's either too cold or miserable or wet, or it's too hot. Never satisfied. But I guess it's because it's still really hot, even though it's now nearly, I think it's 9:30 in the evening. And it's still mega hot. Anyway, so I'm really tired. So it's been, like I say, I've had to apply for a thing called universal credit. So that's been, like I say, it's been mega stressful. I don't want to bore you with all the details and going all the ins and outs of it, but it's taken me a good few days. Now this means now that I've gone onto this universal credit thing that I have to now actively look for work, and so it's going to take up a lot of my time. So in terms of videos, I'm not going to be as free. I mean, obviously in the evenings, I guess, but that means either I'm going to be stuck indoors or it's going to be outside somewhere. And you know that nighttime vlogs can be a little bit, well, like this really. It's a bit dark, it's not very sharp, the picture or the image, I guess, because I don't have a light for my camera or anything necessarily either. But anyway, so, but it's also, there's sort of like some good news to this as well. I mean, the thing is that it means that hopefully, once it's like I've got a load of hoops to jump through. If I jump through these hoops, I will get some money. But I've got to keep jumping through those hoops, and if I miss one hoop, if I miss just one hoop, they could stop my money. They could sanction. It's called sanctioning or something, whereby they could stop £10 out of my money. This, that, and the other. Blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean? Anyway. And believe me, I don't want to be having to do this. I even said to the guy at the job centre today, I told him, I said, look, this is the last thing I want to be doing, and I want to get off this benefit as quickly as possible. So I will be looking for work, and I will be looking for another way of not having to be on that benefit. Believe me, I don't want to perform like a circus. And they say jump, and I say how? Yes, sir. How high? You know what I mean? I don't want to be doing that. Believe me, far from it. But necessity. Do you know what I mean? I've got to feed myself, and it's been getting so bad. Anyway, and I guess in some ways it's been so bad that I've not actually really. Do you know, like sometimes I'll do these kind of videos, and I get all serious and what have you. I don't really like doing those type of videos. I really don't. But sometimes I think maybe there's a point when I have to. I feel a sort of obligation to you guys to some degree, that I feel that I've got to try and explain what's going on. And these last like 3 or 4 days, to be quite honest, have been a nightmare for me. I'm still worrying about the tax thing. The tax thing is still hanging over my head at the moment. I'm still trying to get that sorted out. I've been on to them. I've been told I've got to now get a new password and this, that and the other to re-log on to the thing before I can actually do my tax return. So now I've done that, but now I've got to wait for an activation code before I can sort that out. That's going to be that comes in the post, and so that's going to take up to 9 days to get to me. Sorry, excuse me, I've got a bit of a throat going on and all. So it's just been stress, worry. I mean, big time. And I won't go into any details necessarily, but I did make a video about 2 nights ago now, I think it was, early hours of the morning, because I got in a really bad state, to be honest, with all the anxiety and fear and worry, because like I said, I suffer from depression, I suffer from anxiety, and it got really bad, and so I ended up self-harming. I'll just say that I ended up self-harming. I haven't done it in a long time. It wasn't very bad. It was mostly scratches, so there was no need for any kind of, you know, intervention from anybody necessarily. So like I say, I've self-harmed, which is not good. I made a video about it though. I actually videoed myself doing it because I felt it was important. I'm not going to put it on the channel or anything like that, so don't worry. I'm not going to show that. And I've got sort of like, there's 2 versions. There's me self-harming, but then there's me talking about what I'd just done, which I think is a really powerful video actually. It's really powerful for me to watch, and that's part of the reason why I did it, because I wanted to learn from it. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to video it, so I've got some documentation so I can listen to it and try to get a better understanding of myself, actually, to be quite honest. Anyway, so like I said, there's 2 versions. There's 2 versions of this. There's a sanitized version, and there's a sort of more graphic version, if you like. But I'm not going to use either of those for any of my channels, because that's not what my channel's about. Do you know what I mean? It's not about doom and gloom and all the rest of it and this, that, and the other. That's not what I want my channel to be about at all. But as I've said many times, I like keeping it real with you guys. I want to keep it real. I want you to know who I am, and this is part of who I am. Do you know what I mean? And it's not always pretty, to be quite honest. I'm not a perfect human being, far from it. But you know, and I have issues, maybe more so than most. Maybe I have more than my fair share. But you know, that's the cards I was dealt, and that's the way it is, and blah 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 blah. Anyway, but as I said, I do believe in being honest and being upfront. Sometimes it doesn't always pay necessarily to be like that. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. I've found within my life. Sometimes my honesty can be a little bit too much sometimes for people, and you know, people just turn away, don't want to know or whatever. And I get that. I can understand. You know, I don't begrudge them that necessarily. You know, as I said, this is not what I don't want my channel to be all doom and gloom. I try to keep things light. Great. Try to keep things light as much as I can. But like I said, I can imagine that you guys are thinking, oh, what's happened to Paul? Where's all the videos? So anyway, like I said, my time's going to be used up quite significantly at the moment with all this. You know, I've got to do job searches and lots of other things. I mean, I've got all the some of the paperwork here. This tells me all the things I've got to do within the next month. I get paid every month. They've changed the benefit system completely to the way it was when I was last signing on. And like I say, this universal credit thing. I mean, some of the things I've got to, and don't get me wrong, you know, the guy that I saw today, my advisor guy, he's a nice fella, do you know what I mean? And so you can't really be angry. It's about the system. It's plain and simply the system itself. That's, you know, otherwise, you know, because, and again, okay, it's not perfect, and in some ways, this might be better than the old, you know, the old way of doing it. But it's also got a lot of negative aspects to it, as far as I can see, and from my own personal experience of it. You know, that doesn't necessarily mean to say I'm right either. Do you know what I mean? It just means that that's my experience. You know what I mean? And it's not a pleasant or positive one necessarily, but as I say, that's not from the people I'm actually working with. In terms of, like I say, this advisor guy, the advisor chap that I saw today, he was a nice fella. I really, he really was. He was all right. You know what I mean? He was just another human being that's stuck within a system that we've got. That he's trying to be a decent human being and trying to do his best for you. Do you know what I mean? Within the system and constraints that we have. You know what I mean? So anyway. So, that said, so yeah, a lot of my time's going to be spent now trying to sort this lot out and do other stuff. So, I'm not sure exactly how often I'm going to be able to do videos yet. The out and about stuff definitely will have to take a back seat for the time being. But, like I said, I just want you guys to know what was going on. Oh, and my friend who we had a bit of a parting of ways for a little while. Again, I'm not going into any details, but we're now, reconnected, which is really, really nice, really, really good, and I'm really, really happy about. Absolutely over the moon, because I really, really like this. I'm trying to avoid using, because he doesn't want any kind of. He's very sensitive about his anonymity, which is fine. Do you know what I mean? I don't have a problem with that at all. Just makes it a bit awkward sometimes when I'm trying to talk about him, because obviously my instinct is to use his name, and he doesn't even want that out there, which again, like I say, fair enough. I respect people's stuff, and he's my friend at the end of the day, and he's a very, very close friend to me, and I'm just so happy that we've reconnected. And he's going to pop round on Friday, and then on Monday we're going to go to in fact, on Monday we're going to go back to. So there'll be an opportunity at least to go to Highgate Cemetery again. So we'll have a little mooch around there again and see what we can see if we can find something or a bit that I didn't film last time or whatever sort of thing. So my friend won't actually be in the videos. He'll be with me, but he won't be speaking, and he certainly doesn't want to be shown. So again, as I said, I respect that, and that's perfectly fine. So anyway, as I said, I just wanted to give you an update, give you a catch up of what's happening, and hopefully, this won't drag on for too long, please, and I get something sorted out in terms of either a full-time job. But again, of course, if we get a full-time job, that in itself might then start eating into any time that I might have had, or free time I might have had. But again, these things are workaroundable, you know what I mean? We can work around this. And also, obviously then I get some steady income that's hopefully a much more secure income, and a much more, hopefully more substantial income, and that might then give us bonuses that I can foresee, do you know what I mean? So I might be able to get a better camera, say, or more attachments for my camera, maybe even that flipping quad thing, that flipping drone doofer. Maybe I'll be able to get one of those at some point. Maybe I'll save up if I start getting a bit of extra cash and whatever. So, got to take the positives, do you know what I mean? See the positives and look at the positives and stuff. As I said, my natural inclination has always been, I'm a pessimist. And that's just part of my depression and stuff. It's part of my, I'll always see the glass half empty. But, like I said, I try to work on, looking at the positives. So for me, I make a special point of trying to see the positives. It's not something that just comes naturally or easily to me. I have to make a conscious effort to do it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's when you've lived the life I've led for the last 30 odd years or whatever, in and out of hospitals, living on the street, homeless for 20 years, alcohol dependency, blah blah blah, all the rest of it sort of thing, and the stuff that happened in my childhood and all that carry on and what have you, it's hardly surprising that you're going to have a kind of slightly more dubious outlook on life than perhaps the average person who's had a much more luckier life, if you like. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be easier for somebody that's had a much more less traumatic life, if you like, to be able to have a much more positive outlook. So I'm just giving you how it is, or my experiences and whatever sort of thing. This isn't about getting out the little violin Do you know what I mean? Because that doesn't help anyway. Do you know what I mean? And I don't believe in getting a little violin out anyway. You know, I mean, obviously there will be times when that might be appropriate in certain circumstances, situations, but otherwise. Anyway, again, here I go trying to explain every flipping nuance and every little flipping word that I've spoken. So I've got to accept me at times. I don't. Never mind other people. Do you know what I mean? I've got to learn to accept me. You know, it's like, oh, Paul, you're not saying anything wrong here. You know, you're just being you. Do you know what I mean? You're not saying anything that controversial or that flipping outrageous. Flipping it compared to what some people perhaps say or do. You know, so give yourself a break, eh? Do you know what I mean? Oh dear. Right, so anyway, it's nice to be able to laugh as well, and part of the reason for that is because my friend's back in my life, and obviously Joanne being with me and what have you. Joanne always being there for me and stuff, and being really supportive. So, you know, it's having good people in your life when you really need them the most that's invaluable. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Right, okay, before I, you know, do waffle on for much longer and another 2 hours, I better leave it there, and I'll say good night for now, and I apologise that there isn't more interesting or upbeat content at the minute. It will happen, it will. It's just like I say, I need to sort this all out. This money situation has just got so bad that I really seriously need to sort it out. Right, okay guys, I'm going to leave it there for now, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye for now. Bye from extremely sweltery hot Brixton. See you later guys.